My name is Peter. I guess you could call me a fisherman or a fisher of men. I want to share with you events when I come to your place, times I had with Jesus, but I want to share with you at least one right now. It happened towards the end of his ministry. We had been traveling with Jesus for some 3 years, hearing his stories, the parables, the healings. And then there came a time where Jesus asked us, "Who do people say I am?" It's almost as if he knew his time was coming to an end. And he wanted to know, what is the word getting out? Is his message getting out? So he said, who do people say I am? And some of the disciples said, well, you're like a great teacher. And he was a rabbi. Some were saying, well, you're like a prophet. I guess you could say that too. Some were saying that he was like John the Baptist, which I always think is humorous. Although John had a great message, their personalities were so different. And so then he asked us this question. And I think it's the most important question he'll ever ask anybody. Here's the question. He says, "But who do you say I am?" You see, it really doesn't matter what anybody says you are. The question is, who do you say Jesus is? And he looked at me. Have you ever had Jesus look right at you? It's like he's looking right through you. And he looked at me and I said, "You are the Christ. You're the Son of the living God. You're God." And Jesus said, "Simon, that wasn't revealed to you because you're so smart, but it was the Spirit." And he says, on that statement of faith, I will build my church, the keys of the kingdom. And I thought, this is fantastic. I got it right. These other guys didn't. I got it right. And here are the keys of the kingdom. And then Jesus started sharing about how he had to go to Jerusalem. And he was going to go and die. And I said, "No, Lord. We forbid it." I rebuked Jesus. I rebuked God. Can you believe that? And then Jesus says, "Get behind thee, Satan." How can you be right on one moment and right off the next? You know, it's kind of like the time we were fishing on Galilee. Jesus was not with us. And a storm came up. And that could happen at any moment on Galilee. And it was a mighty storm. We thought we were going to drown. And John sees Jesus walking on the water. He sees him coming and he says, "Peter, I think that's Jesus." And I said, "Jesus, if that's you, call me. Ask me to come to you." And Jesus said, "Come to me." And I got out of the boat. I'm looking at Jesus and I'm walking on the water. And this was a storm. And I'm looking at Jesus and I'm walking on the water. And I'm walking on the water. And you can't walk on water. That's impossible. And you know the event? I sunk. I drowned. I was drowning. And I know you're laughing at me, saying, "Oh yeah, look, Peter sunk." But at least I got out of the boat. And then when I was sinking, let me tell you what you do when you sink. And we are going to sink. I said, "Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jesus!" And he picks me up and puts me back in the boat. Man, when my focus is on God, I'm right on. It's like catching a ton of fish one day and maybe no fish the next day. And so I rebuked Jesus, saying, "We forbid that." And my eyes were off Jesus. And he says to me, "Get behind thee, Satan." There are so many events I want to share with you about my time with Jesus. But let me ask you a question right now. Who do you say? Who do you say Jesus is? And how you answer that question is going to determine whether you're just a fisherman or a fisher of men.